Hello everybody, this is BScat100 and welcome back to some more BlazBlue Calamity Trigger Reconstruction. Almost dropped my controller there. In the previous episode we had started this recap, I'm going to put that in quotes, of BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. It's more of a kind of putting everything together in one concise package, or at least I would like to think so. It's almost like you didn't need to play the first game, but you got some ending scenes and alternate stuff that you probably won't get here. So I'm in it for the long haul, so I am going to go through this. Hey, it'd be nice to have this in one concise timeline. This is in Continuum Shift Extended, but I'm not going to classify it as such quite yet. So, in the last episode, as I said, we began this. We had started off at the cauldron, and just before we ended off, we met Jubei in the forest, and that was a familiar scene as well. Today, we're starting in the NOL office and seeing what's going on from here. If I'm correct, it's probably Hazma and whatever. It was the last scene that we saw in Calamity Trigger. So we're gonna start off from here. If you like what you see, leave a like down below, comment if you have anything to say, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends so they can join in on this adventure. This is the Novus Orbis Librarium, the NOL in common parlance. There are the cogs that keep the wheels of governance turning in most of the hierarchical cities across the planet. A world order, though you'd be unwise to call it that within earshot. They're also referred to as the library, thanks to the staggering number of grimoires they manage to collect. Grimoires use the Seether to activate the combination of sorcery and technology inherent within the Ars Magus. It goes without saying that the vast array of grimoires at their disposal grants the library immense military power. This is but one of the many offices within NOL headquarters. Major Jin Kisaragi's pen flies across document after document, the disgust on his face making clear his thoughts on the pile of papers before him. Jin Kisaragi is one of the youngest majors the NOL has ever seen, known as the hero of Ikaruga for his exploits during the Ikaruga Civil War. He is commander of the 4th Thaumaturgist Squadron of the NOL, Praetorian Guard. For all of his valor and military accolades, though, his life has been a haze of endless meetings and mind-numbing paperwork ever since his promotion.
Lieutenant Noel Vermillion reporting for duty, Major. May I come in?
Jin frowns at the sound of her voice, his thoughts straying. Noel Vermillion. Noel's no stranger to Jin. She serves as his ministerial secretary. And they knew each other back in their academy days. Still, there's something about her that always sours Jin's mood. She's never done him ill, far from it. Her face just shakes loose something within him. He doesn't know what it is, but he can feel how precariously it teeters when she looks at him. It's for this very reason that he never looks her in the eye.
Enter.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I've just received the files from intelligence regarding that attack on one of our sister branches. Here they are. They, sent along a message, too. They think both of the NOL facilities were hit by the same assailant. One man, acting alone. They'd like your take on the situation, though.
One man acting alone, you say?
Jin extends his hand, demanding the files from her. She nervously obliges him. He flips some of the files without so much as a glance in her direction.
This is...
Ragnar the Blood Edge, sir. He's an SS-class criminal who's come to the attention of the higher-ups.
Ragnar.
The, Blood Edge. Yes. Intelligence has made his whereabouts a priority. According to their latest data, he seems to be en route to the 13th hierarchical city, Kagutsuchi.
Ragna. Ragna the Blood Edge. Oh, this is rich. And just when I thought I was about to die of boredom.
Major Kisaragi, are you...
Dismissed.
Huh?
You're dismissed, Lieutenant. You can leave, so please do.
Right. I'll just be going then.
I never thought you'd amount to anything. I guess you proved me wrong, eh, Mr. SS class criminal? Time for a little reunion, brother.
So that's what Noel and Hazuma were talking about. When Hazuma's like, is there anything going on with Jin? And Noel's like, yeah, he was laughing hard. So we get a little clarification on that. The train station is a terribly rowdy place, as places of its ilk are wont to be. For servicing the entire city, the train keeps a relentless schedule, pulling into and rolling out of stops like clockwork. The station sees more cargo than passengers disembarking. A phalanx of uniformed staffers inspects the influx of goods. It is the very last day of December. A warm breeze flitted across his face as he gazed in the direction, the artificial climate control having triumphed winter's disposition.
Kagutsuchi, the 13th hierarchical city. So, this is where you skulked off to.
He left the station and headed for downtown Kagutsuchi without delay.
I finally made it.
An Ars Magus airship sits moored in the harbor for such vessels near the top of the mountain. Though it looks like something plucked straight from the pages of a science fiction novel, Noel has other matters on her mind as she disembarks.
Ow! My back hurts, and my butt's gone numb.
The long flight had taken its toll, leaving her feeling sluggish. She tries to rub life back into the tense muscles. She takes in her surroundings.
So, this is Kagutsuchi.
The port is clearly under an NOL jurisdiction. It's spotless and guards are posted on every corner. So far, the 13th hierarchical city doesn't strike Noel as being too much different than NOL headquarters, but she spends the bulk of her time where she spends the bulk of her time. As such, it feels familiar somehow, but perhaps that will change as she ventures inward. Holding her hat atop her head to keep the mountaintop gusts from stealing it, she makes her way towards the city proper. Noel Vermillion, her rank lieutenant, more specifically a Praetorian guard of the Novus Orbis Librarium. Missions of this caliber, and the chance to leave headquarters it necessitates, are rare for her indeed.
What's the good word, Lieutenant Vermillion? Cat got your tongue? Or did you just forget my name?
Captain Hazuma! I'm so sorry. You just surprised me, that's all.
Noel sees Hazuma pop out from behind her from the corner of her eye. He's a captain, which makes him Noel's superior, technically speaking. That said, the reality of the situation isn't so cut and dry. She's a member of an elite squadron tasked with the most grueling of missions, while Hazuma is a spy working for the intelligence division, well outside her specific chain of command.
How many times must I tell you, Noel? There's no need for such formality. Don't worry about rank and protocol, not with me. Let's just take it easy,
Take it easy. Right.
And why not? We're working on the same mission, and we play for the same team, generally speaking. We'll probably be here for a while.
The mission.
Noel looks down, her brows knit with worry. Noel and Hazuma have come to Kagutsuchi to track down Jin Kisaragi, who went AWOL a few days ago. This is the mission of which Hazuma speaks so casually. There's nothing pleasant about having to find and apprehend your immediate superior for desertion.
Just to confirm, Major Kisaragi's personality shifted at the mention of Ragna the Blood Edge. Isn't that right?
Yes. I mean, as far as I could tell, he started laughing maniacally and kicked me out of his office.
Kisaragi. The Jin Kisaragi cackling like a loon? It beggars belief. It really does.
But he really did.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. Far be it from me to call you a liar. Incidentally, you were supposed to have investigated Ragna the Blood Edge.
What? Are you serious?
As a heart attack. Of course, that particular batch of orders never made it past the desk of your erstwhile major, so there's no way you could have known. I wouldn't worry about it any.
I never suspected.
I'm positive that Kisaragi's sudden desertion has to do with this Ragna chap. If we head over to the local NOL branch, I'm sure we'll run into him.
What makes you say that?
Ragna targets libraries. Sure, maybe he's departing from form and he came here to check out Kagutsuchi's nightlife, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's out to cause a little NOL carnage. And when he gets to the library, who will be there waiting for him but our own missing major?
Oh, I get it.
Noel's eyes grow wide as she marvels at Hazuma's power of deduction. He sighs. Their partnership is no great meeting of the minds.
Guess I'll be thinking for two on this assignment. Well, how about we go hunting for information? The afternoon's still young. If his previous attacks are any indication, Ragna the Blood Edge will probably strike our facility under the cover of night. And Jin doesn't strike me as the sort who'd get into position needlessly early. I don't think anything's going to go down until the sun sets. That's good, frankly, because we're not the only pieces on the board. We might have a few guest appearances, so to speak.
Do you mean Sector 7?
I don't think they have the self-restraint to sit this one out. If they're involved, this mission's bound to get a lot more complicated.
Sector 7 and the hero of Ikaruga?
There's nothing linking them, not officially at any rate. But if there is a connection, we'll find it.
Wow, they're not kidding when they call you guys the intelligence department.
Don't look too impressed. It's all included in the report.
Huh? Oh.
The report which you never read, judging from the deer in the headlights expression. Tisk tisk, Lieutenant. Maybe you should have spent the flight over here boning up on the particulars of the case, instead of snoring.
I was, saving up my strength for this super rigorous assignment. Yeah, that's it. Besides, you were asleep the whole time too, Hazuma.
What are you talking about? I didn't sleep a wink.
But I could have sworn I saw you.
Why would I lie about something like that? My eyes were wide open, just like they are now. See?
But your eyes look shut. I'm confused.
Truth be told, you didn't sleep all the way over here. I seem to recall you conveniently waking up just in time to tear through lunch and dessert. If you keep on this regimen of nothing but sleep and food, you might just fill out a bit.
Leave me alone! This coming from the man who eats nothing but hard-boiled eggs!
At least I wasn't doubling down on the pudding. And what's wrong with eggs anyway?
Swallowing them whole is just weird.
Listen, you culinary Philistine. In the hands of a master, the hard-boiled egg is a work of art.
Hi, yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, what is this? Oh, I mean, Hazuma's the bad guy. We know this. But the interaction between these two is just... Alright.
Work of art? Come on, it's an egg. I just don't understand Hazuma sometimes.
I could talk about them forever, but you don't seem very receptive. Shall we get to work then?
Yeah, we're collecting information until the sun goes down, right?
Indeed. I'll see what I can learn amid the higher levels of the city. You don't mind taking the middle and lower levels, do you?
You mean, we need to split up?
Kagutsuchi's not exactly a one-horse town. If we stick together, this'll take even longer. I'll do what I do best, and you go down there and, try hard. A for effort, as they say.
I'll do my best, Captain.
Good luck with that, you stammering bobblehead. Why can't they just staff my department properly instead of having a slum for help? I feel like strangling an accountant.
Jesus. I mean, I understand that Noel isn't the brightest in the bunch there, but Jesus.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologize, my dear. We couldn't do what we do without such generous assistance from the other branches. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
Right.
I'm sure it goes without saying, but all information surrounding Major Kisaragi's disappearance is classified top secret. Loose lips sink ships, if you get my drift.
Aye, aye.
Good. Now, how about we rendezvous shortly after sunset? Say 1800 hours? Probably jumping the gun a bit, but it'll give us time to reach the NOL facility.
Rendezvous at 1800 hours. Roger. I guess I'll be going then.
Lieutenant, just one more thing.
Yes?
If you should encounter Ragna the Blood Edge at any point, retreat to safety and notify me ASAP. Do not engage in combat. That's an order.
How come?
I had some intel come in while you were sleeping. A number of NOL soldiers have already tried to subdue him and, well, doctors say they'll all live, but they won't be winning any beauty pageants. I don't want to have to bring you back to headquarters as checked luggage.
Oh, fair enough.
She's finally out of my hair. They're a real handful at that age.
Hazama shakes his head and pulls his hat down, obscuring his eyes. He stares just under the brim to see Noel dash into the crowd. A girl on a mission.
Now that she's off to the races, I think I'll go see to some errands.
Leaving Hazama at the harbor, Noel heads down to the lower levels of Kagutsuchi. Hierarchical cities are like mountains with trays grafted to the sides at various points along the side. There's a district, a self-contained city unto itself, on each tray. The higher the tray, the more affluent and pleasant the district. Being heavier than air, Seether collects closer to the ground. No coincidence, then, that those with power and wealth cluster near the mountain's peaks. Conversely, those who can't afford such luxury find themselves living in the lower districts or even the slums. But for the moment, Noel finds herself around the middle of Kagutsuchi. The airship harbor feels like a different world compared to her current environs. She begins her search for Jin Kisaragi, but she feels out of place in the unfamiliar town, oddly aimless.
No sign of him. Guess I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. I've never conducted an investigation before. I don't even know where to begin. Like, literally. I can't make heads or tails of this map. Major Kisaragi, why did you run off like that?
Thoughts nibble at her mind as she canvasses the district. Jin Kisaragi was a soldier's soldier, calm, cool, and collected. A role model for many an aspiring officer within the Librarium. It was hard to imagine him going AWOL. He was the hero of Ikaraga, commander of his own squadron.
How can he have anything to do with Sector 7? He acted so strangely when I gave him those files. Maybe Ragna the Blood Edge has something to do with this after all. But what?
Her head churned with questions for which she had no answers.
If Ragna the Blood Edge is in this town, am I gonna randomly run into him? What do I do if he spots me? Hazama told me to run away, but I'm a Praetorian guard, right? If I see him doing something awful, I have to arrest him. Or do I? Come on, Noel. Think. I bet he's like 10 feet tall. Probably has a creepy face, too. Excuse me. Oh boy. I really hope I don't run into him. Excuse me, ma'am. You're Miss Noel Vermillion, are you not? What? Yes, Lieutenant Noel Vermillion, at your service.
Startled out of her worried excuse me, startled out of her worried wool gathering, Noel snaps to attention. Standing before her is a bespectacled little boy who seems to stand just shy of foppish.
I thought it was you, Miss Noel.
Miss Noel? Hey, is that... Why, Carl!
Carl Clover, to be specific. He'd been a few classes behind Noel and her classmates at the NOL Academy. They hadn't seen each other in years, and though Carl had grown quite a bit in the interim, he's still very much the boy she knew. Noel feels nostalgia wash over her.
Long time no see, as they say. I never expected to bump into you in a place like this, I must admit.
It's been forever, hasn't it? What have you been up to? I mean, you left the academy so suddenly. I was worried about you.
There were pressing matters that needed tending to. That's all. I'm sorry to have worried you.
Oh. All right. So, what brings you to Kagutsuchi? Or are you living here now?
The smile suddenly disappears from Noel's face. Her eyes stray to the gigantic marionette looming behind Carl. His face is cold and expressionless. The thing isn't a toy, whatever it is. It's too big, too dangerous.
Carl? What is that?
Huh? Oh, you mean Sis?
Sis?
Yes, this is my big sister Ada. Sis, this is one of my classmates from the academy.
Carl speaks to the doll as though it's made of flesh and blood, and with more warmth than that with which he addressed Noel. A chill goes down Noel's spine. She can't say why exactly, but this doll feels deadly.
Carl? Please don't take this the wrong way, but that isn't...
I already know what you're going to say, but please don't. Ada's very self-conscious about her looks.
Yeah, you guessed it. So, how about you tell me what you're up to? Maybe I can help you out.
Do you really mean that? Gosh, Miss Noel, that'd be splendid. You can start by telling me anything you know about Ragna the Blood Edge.
Ragna the Blood Edge? You've heard of him?
But of course. Oh, right. I haven't told you yet. I've become a vigilante since last we met.
What now?
A vigilante, a bounty hunter, in the common parlance, though their activities are sanctioned by NOL's high command, and they're reimbursed accordingly. Vigilantes are slipping into Kagutsuchi by the hour, each hoping they'll be the one to capture Ragna the Blood Edge and lay claim to the huge reward. Carl is undoubtedly the youngest of the bunch, though.
I need to capture this Grim Reaper fellow, and to do that, I'm going to need every scrap of intel the NOL has on him.
Carl beams up at Noel, excited by this newfound source of information, but she can't return his gaze. He's polite, well-spoken, poised to a fault, but deep down there's something about him that's off somehow.
But why?
It's a bit strange, really. Ragna the Blood Edge is always attacked without warning, but this time, the streets are abuzz with news of his arrival. Have been for a while now. It seems as though somebody knew he was coming, and that they wanted it to be common knowledge. But why leak a bombshell like that, if not to conceal something else? I'll admit, I had my doubts, but seeing all the armed guards around town, and now running into you, I'm sure of it. Something's afoot in Kagutsuchi, something big. There are only a few organizations with the clout to pull a stunt like this.
Carl smiles and looks into Noel's eyes once again. His owlish gaze has NOL written all over it.
Carl,
I don't know what exactly is going on or why, but adding another piece of the puzzle to my repertoire can't hurt, right?
I can't tell you anything, Carl. If you want information, you need to submit an official request to an NOL office like everyone else. I'm sorry, but that's the law.
I see. That's unfortunate.
Have you ever thought about going back to the academy? You're one of the top students in your class. If you go back now, I'm sure you'll be caught up in no time.
I wish it didn't have to come to this, Miss Noel. But if you're going to Stonewall, then you leave me no choice.
The doll behind Carl springs to life, tearing a huge gouge out of the ground with its huge claws. If Noel's reflexes had been any slower, it would have shorn her legs from her body. Carl stares at Noel with murderous intent.
Too slow, sis. Good try, though. Have you lost your mind? Adults are so unfair, aren't they, sis? They go ahead and do whatever they want, but the moment you need a bit of help, they shut you out. Carl! If that's how you're going to be, I'll just have to force the information out of you.
Oh boy. Yikes. Alright, let's see what we can do here.
The wheel of fate is turning.
God damn it, I really need to change that.
Rebel 1. Action. Optic barrel. Optic barrel.
Okay.
Counter. This counter.
God damn it, Carl, stop it! Well, this is more challenge than I've had.
That's no good, Noel. Type 1. Not bad, Noel. Type 1. Vinny! Where are you?
You're a lot better than I thought, Miss Noel.
That's enough, Carl.
It pains me to say it, but I think I need to call it a day. Mark my words, though. I'll be the one to find the Azure Grimoire.
Hey, wait! Azure Grimoire? That was in the report, I think. Ragna has that one. But why would Carl want something like that?
Noelle should chase Carl down and bring the answers out of him, but her legs can't be bothered. She's too tired, too sad. Her heart sits like a leaden weight in her chest. She bites her lip as tears swell up in her eyes.
Oh, Carl. What happened to you?
He'd been such a friendly child, so lovable and innocent. Back at the academy, Noelle's circle of friends had drafted him into group assignments many a time, but now this?
Everything is changing.
Everything around me. My old academy friends.
I want to go back. Back to when we were in school.
She longed for a return to those simpler days. There had been hard times, to be sure, but her years at the academy were Noelle's most cherished treasure.
Come on, Noel. Rub it up, Dad. Time for the grub. Tsubaki's already at the cafeteria, you know? Coming. Just give me a sec, okay? What's up, Slowpoke? No, it's just Tsubaki asked me to take care of these papers. They're for the student council meeting or something. Ooh, thrilling. Now double time, soldier. We're gonna miss lunch. Makoto, wait up!
The NOL Academy does nothing in half measure. As such, their school cafeteria was nothing to turn up one's nose at. Still, big as it was, the cavernous cafeteria wasn't big enough to seat all of the Academy students at once. The lines for the food vendors were always long. If you didn't get to a spot early on, you were liable to run out of time before you reached the front. That sounds familiar. It sounds like, you know, high school lunch for me.
Well, so much for eating, huh? I'm really sorry, Makoto. I don't see any lunch in our future. But no worries, Noel. Not your fault. Hey, Makoto! Noel! Tsubaki! There you are! What took you guys so long? Anyway, here, dig in. Stop the presses! Is this the melon cream bread that I love so completely? And these walnut danishes. Did you buy these for us?
Yeah, the cafeteria
cafeteria was a madhouse today. I figured I'd better get you something just in case. Are you okay with that sandwich, Noel?
Am I ever? Thanks so much, Tsubaki.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man, having smart friends rocks.
Come on, Makoto. It's nothing to cry about. Stop being so dramatic.
Missing lunch is kind of dramatic.
Totally. And not only did I not miss lunch, I'm chowing down on my favorites. How do you rock so hard, Tsubaki? Damn, you're awesome.
Still holding the bread in a grip that even death could not sever, Makoto sweeps Tsubaki up in a huge bear hug.
A big old kiss from my bestest friend. Mwah!
I'm starting to think you only love me for my cream bread. I don't think we're gonna find a free table in here. Wanna go outside?
Lead on, oh supplier of snacks. So sweet. This is heaven.
Everything looks delicious when you eat it, Makoto.
I feel all warm and fuzzy inside just watching you eat.
No, guys, for reals. This bread is the culmination of my entire life up to this moment. The fluffy bread outside, the melon-tacular cream within. Oh, it's sweet like melon, but not too sweet, you know. Bury me in this bread. Not when I'm dead even. Now!
That sounds morbid and messy.
I'm just glad the two of you are happy.
Tsubaki, I almost forgot. Here are those documents you asked for.
Oh, thanks, Noel. Sorry I'm always asking you for help with stuff.
No, I'm glad to. I just hope I didn't make any mistakes.
Let's see.
Tsubaki quickly flipped through the stack of papers Noel's handed to her. Right then, a sudden gust of wind pulls a few pages out from her grasp. Makoto leaps into the air and snatches a few of the papers away from the wind, all in the blink of an eye. Noel copied Makoto to less spectacular effect. She reaches for the last stray sheet, but it slipped right between her fingers, still aloft. In that instant, Noel lost her balance.
Huh? Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Mr. Kisaragi!
Jin?
Oh my god, are you okay, Mr. Kisaragi?
Jin caught both the falling Noel and the errant paper. He shot a chilly look to the former. Cowed by his presence, all Noel could do was stammer.
I mean, I'm so sorry. Are you hurt or...
Here.
Jin brushes past Noel and hands the paper back to Tsubaki.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jin.
The wind's really strong out here. I suggest you be more careful.
I will.
Sorry to interrupt your lunch.
I never imagined in a million years that Jin was gonna come waltzing through our lunch. That was intense. Right, Noel?
Yeah.
Crap! Lunch is almost over! No time to chew, ladies! Ew.
Stupid.
Hey, you okay?
All this paperwork was for Jin. Why didn't I just give it to him then?
Oh, that's too bad.
Hey! You want me to pounce on him? He'll never see me coming. I'll just be all, BAM! Squirrel power!
Thanks, but no. I'll do it myself. He couldn't have gone far.
Hey, if you need squirrel power, just holla.
See you later.
Jin, wait up! Oh, I didn't think I was gonna catch up to you.
Tsubaki, what's wrong? Why'd you come running up?
All those papers, I was supposed to give them to you.
You chased me down for that? They're not that important, are they?
Well, no point waiting until later, I figured. Here you go.
Thanks, I think. But really, running indoors, probably not the best idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just be a little more careful next time, alright? This conversation isn't over yet, is it?
You know, you could stand to be a bit nicer to Noel.
Not this again.
You told me before that I was just imagining things, but just now Did something happen between you two?
No, nothing.
Be straight with me, Jin. We've known each other since we were children. And Noel's been a good friend of mine ever since we started at the academy. I don't want any...
Tsubaki, stop. I know you're worried, but it's nothing, really. I'm just not good at being around her. That's all.
Well, okay then.
Anyway, thanks for these. I should be going. Oh, Tsubaki, one more thing.
Yes?
I'm serious about that whole running indoors thing. I don't need it on my conscience if you go craning off a wall or something.
Oh, right. Right.
It feels like a dream, almost. Jin awakens from the memory to find himself standing in a crowded cityscape. Something bothers Jin about his dream from a moment ago. It felt as though he should have had some sort of emotional response to the girl. The thought is gone as it had come. Jin's face turns cold as he scans the throng.
Can humanity really exist amid such disorder and chaos?
He's in a district amid the lower levels of Kagutsuchi, a place called Ronengai. Bridges packed with structures span the valley. They creak and sway in the wind that whip through the various banners and flags the residents have chosen to fly. The town's architecture is unusual, reminiscent of that of the Ikaruga Federation, which was destroyed in its civil war with the librarian 2 years ago.
The streets are empty. Why?
He makes his way through the town, his senses on high alert. People live here clearly, but he doesn't spot a soul. You can feel their presence, though, from hidden vantage points within buildings and behind trees, from innumerable corners just out of sight. He feels their fear and hatred needling in his back.
Huh. I see. So this is where the refugees from Ikaruga have crawled away to.
After the defeat 2 years ago, the residents of the Ikaruga Federation probably ended up here in Kagutsuchi. Jin knows the events of that war all too well. He played a pivotal role in the conflict, having brought the rebel leader Tenho to his knees. It was no stretch to say that Jin was personally responsible for the fall of Ikaruga. It was all his wartime valor that earned him the nickname Hero of Ikaruga. Jin puts no stock into such flippery.
I'm tempted to turn this hovel into a glacier, just to teach you some manners.
Jin was fed up with their incessant hidden staring and their cowardice. He reached for his sword, and at that moment...
Lo, dastardly Jin Kisaragi from the equally dastardly NOL. Your day of woe is upon you!
I think Bang also got a new voice actor.
What the hell?
Gaze upon this scar, varlet. I am none other than Bang Shishigami, survivor of the Ikaruga massacre, and he who shall deliver you unto justice!
Who? Oh, right. That coward from 2 years ago.
I did flee the castle, yes, but only at my master's insistence, to see our kinsmen to safety. You were the cowards that day, destroying our village and cutting down an outnumbered hero. I have never forgotten your crimes, or how our master must have suffered in his final moments. Such...
Get out of my way.
Whoops,
I
sorry.
haven't the time to listen to you babble on.
That I cannot do. This is a meeting ordained by fate, and I will make it count. Even if I must break my master's dying wish, I must end your life here and now. As you go to your doom, remember, I am the Avenger of Ikaraga, who fights for love and justice. Bang Shishigami, on guard!
And here we go again. Whew. It's a long haul.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
That was unexpected.
That was unexpected.
Open up, die. Dissipate. This is an ukemi. Blade.
Counter.
This is an ukemi.
Not a big fan.
Chill. How can this be? Not good. Chill. Die. How can this be? This is an ukemi.
Counter.
What the? Pulverizing fist. Impale. Impale. Pulverizing fist. What? Blizzard. Heavenly rain.
I don't know how to do a distortion finish. How do I do that? Oh, god damn it.
Blade.
Counter.
Blade. There. Blizzard.
I should probably learn soon.
Oh my! This is an ukemi. Impale.
No. How do I do that?
Blade. Opening. Die. Pulverizing fist. Die. Master.
Finish.
Ah, god damn it. If I don't know how to do distortion finishes, this is gonna be a real pain in the ass.
Impossible!
Deluded fool.
Boss, pull yourself together!
How dare you, Jin Kisaragi!
We'll avenge you, boss! Count on it! Stand back. This is my stage. And you guys don't stand a chance. Boss!
Struggling through the pain, Bang takes hold of his nearest comrade and tries to lift himself off his feet, or to his feet. But his men hold him down, gently, as befits a warrior of love and justice. Jin looks upon the defeated ninja with equal parts arrogance and boredom.
Stay on the ground where you belong, old man. Killing you isn't worth the mess.
Jin says this as he walks away, not caring if they even heard him. To Jin, they've ceased to exist. The pained mumbling behind him barely registers.
Master, please, forgive me.
None of it mattered to Jin.
I've wasted too much time on pointless crap. I need to get to the top of Kagutsuchi, and soon.
Jin's eyes follow his thoughts, up to the top of the mountain, and the NOL branch that resides thereupon. From his vantage point down in Ronengai, it's nothing more than a hazy speck. Nonetheless, the mere thought of what awaits him within its halls gave Jin chills of excitement.
Almost. Almost there. We'll meet once again, brother.
The fingertips of his silken gloves grazed the tip of his sword ever so slightly. His face twisted into a manic smile, but his eyes never thawed. Whew. Yeah. Yep. Let's save. Okay. I don't know what that does. God. So that'll be it for now. In the next episode of BlazBlue Calamity Trigger Reconstruction, we are going to head back over to Ragna's perspective for, I guess, going into the NOL branch, or maybe we're back with Jin's. I don't know. Obviously, we didn't see it, so. But we're gonna end off here. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.